Your brain cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. The same regions activate, the same chemical signals fire, the same physiological responses cascade through your body. And that single fact explains why feeling grateful before anything has actually changed is the most underrated psychological tool most people will never use. Because right now, you're probably running a mental program that does the exact opposite, rehearsing worst-case scenarios and calling it being realistic. We've been trained to think of gratitude as a response. Something good happens, then you feel thankful. Effect follows cause. Clean, logical, comfortable. But the research on expectation and belief formation tells a different story, one where the emotional state comes first and the external evidence follows. And the mechanism behind it has nothing to do with wishing or manifesting or cosmic ordering. It has everything to do with how your brain filters information. Every second, your senses take in roughly 11 million bits of data. Your conscious mind processes about 50 out of 11 million. So your brain has to decide, constantly, what makes the cut, what gets promoted to conscious awareness, and what gets dumped. The system that makes this decision is called the reticular activating system, and it takes its filtering instructions from one place. Whatever you flagged as important through repetition and emotional intensity, buy a red car, and suddenly every third vehicle on the road is red. They were always there. Your filter changed. Gratitude works on the same hardware. When you generate the feeling of thankfulness for something you want, before it arrives, you're programming that filter. You're telling your brain, this thing matters. Watch for it. And your brain, which is essentially a prediction machine running on pattern recognition, starts scanning for evidence that matches the feeling. Opportunities you'd have scrolled past, conversations you'd have half listened to, connections that would have stayed invisible. So why does this get lumped in with toxic positivity? Because it sounds identical on the surface. Just be grateful and just think positive land in the same suspicious category. Fair enough, the difference is mechanical. Toxic positivity suppresses negative emotion. It papers over pain with a smile and pretends the crack isn't there. Anticipatory gratitude does something structurally different. It generates a specific emotional signature and uses that signature to retune perception. One is denial. The other is calibration. Think about the last time you were anxious about a presentation. Your palms were damp, your chest was tight. You kept rehearsing everything that could go wrong. And your brain, helpful as always, started finding evidence to support that fear. You noticed every yawn in the audience, every glance at a phone, every micro-expression that could be interpreted as boredom. The data that contradicted your fear, the nodding heads, the engaged eyes, got filtered out. Your emotional state was literally selecting which reality you perceived. Anticipatory gratitude runs that same process in the other direction. A study at UC Davis had participants write about things they were grateful for each week. Within 10 weeks, those participants reported measurably higher optimism. But the interesting data point wasn't the mood change. The participants started exercising more, sleeping better, and making more progress toward personal goals. Their behavior shifted, and behavior is where belief lives. You can say you believe anything. Your calendar and your bank statement reveal what you actually believe. This is where the subconscious piece clicks into place. Your subconscious mind operates on pattern recognition and repetition. It doesn't evaluate truth the way your conscious mind does. It evaluates familiarity. Whatever emotional state you inhabit most frequently becomes the baseline your subconscious treats as normal. And your subconscious works relentlessly to maintain normal. If your baseline emotional state is scarcity, if the background hum of your daily experience is, there isn't enough, I'm behind, this probably won't work, then your subconscious will filter, select, and steer behavior to confirm that baseline. You'll sabotage opportunities that threaten to pull you out of familiar territory. You've seen this happen. The person who gets a raise and immediately finds a way to spend it all. The person who enters a healthy relationship and picks fights until it feels like the chaos they're used to. The subconscious defends the familiar with terrifying efficiency. So when you practice feeling grateful for something that hasn't materialized yet, you're doing something specific and measurable. You're exposing your subconscious to a new emotional pattern. You're making abundance familiar. And once it's familiar, your subconscious stops fighting it and starts looking for ways to confirm it. The shift is gradual. A few days won't override years of scarcity programming, but the mechanism is cumulative. Every session of genuine anticipatory gratitude is a data point your subconscious has to account for. The key word there is genuine. This falls apart if you're reciting affirmations you don't feel. Standing in front of a mirror saying, "I am wealthy," while your checking account says otherwise, creates cognitive dissonance, and your subconscious reads that as a lie. It digs in harder. The feeling has to be real, which means you have to find the specific version of the gratitude that your body actually responds to. Sometimes that means scaling down. Instead of trying to feel grateful for $1 million, you feel grateful for the fact that a path exists, that the skills are learnable, that you woke up with a functioning brain and an internet connection, and 24 hours. The body responds to specificity. Vague gratitude bounces off. Detailed gratitude lands. There's a phrase in psychology called embodied cognition, the idea that your physical state influences your mental state as much as the reverse. When researchers had subjects hold a warm cup of coffee, those subjects rated strangers as having warmer personalities. The body informed the mind. Gratitude works the same way when it's felt in the body rather than just thought in the head. The warm expansion in the chest, the slight relaxation of the shoulders, the softening around the eyes. These physical signals feed back into the brain and reinforce the emotional pattern you're trying to install. And here's where it gets practical. Critics of this approach will point out, correctly, that gratitude alone doesn't pay rent. Agreed. Feeling thankful while sitting on the couch changes your filter, but doesn't change your bank balance. The mechanism requires a second step, action from the new baseline. You feel the gratitude, you let it shift your perception, and then you move. You send the email, you make the call. You start the project. The gratitude isn't a replacement for effort, it's a perceptual upgrade that makes your effort more precisely aimed. A person operating from scarcity sends 100 resumes with desperate energy and wonders why nothing lands. A person operating from a genuine sense of sufficiency sends 10 resumes, each one targeted, each one written from a place of, "I have something valuable to offer," rather than, "Please just pick me." Same talent, same market, different filter producing different behavior producing different results. The compounding effect is what makes this worth the awkwardness of the first few attempts. Each time you generate gratitude before evidence, and then take action from that state, and then receive even a small result that matches your subconscious logs of confirmation, the new pattern gets a little more familiar. The old scarcity baseline loses a fraction of its grip. Over weeks and months, the emotional default shifts, and with it, the perceptual filter, the behavioral patterns, and the outcomes those behaviors produce. This is measurable, testable, and reproducible. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute found that sustained positive emotions create measurable coherence in heart rhythm patterns, and that this coherence correlates with improved cognitive function, better decision-making, and enhanced creativity. The heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. When you shift the emotional signal at the source, the downstream effects ripple through everything. So the next time someone tells you to just be grateful, the instinct to roll your eyes is understandable. Most of the time, that advice is delivered without any understanding of why it works. But underneath the bumper sticker version is a mechanism as concrete as adjusting the frequency on a radio. You're surrounded by signals right now. Opportunities, connections, ideas, openings. Most of them are hitting your antenna and getting filtered out because they don't match your current frequency. Gratitude before evidence is how you change the station. The signals were always there. You just couldn't hear them over the static you'd gotten used to calling silence.